Hello, Nikita. I've been looking at your test and I took down some notes that I will address. Um, so I was looking at it and I think you have that right feeling with the poses and the timing overall. So now that you just took it into curves, I see the biggest thing you can work on now is just making sure all that stuff isn't uh, so even in timing. I'm not talking about the big poses, but I'm talking about all that stuff in between, like all this part right here, all the little actions he does. Uh, he seems to be wiggling a lot, and the only time he really holds is right here. So you might want to see where you can put some more holds and transitions within these middle parts. He kind of holds here, but then his hands go kind of wormy, and they're always moving. Something's always moving, and sometimes, especially in that state of disbelief, you'll have your character barely move because he'll be in such despair, and all the thinking and uh, personality will come out in things like the hands, but even they won't move so like wiggly like you have it right here. And you want to be able to make sure that that he doesn't feel like he's always wiggling. So here you have like fingers and eyebrows doing things like at the very end, kind of wiggles, and uh, you could play with more things like maybe lip movements, like when people like kind of purse their lips together when they're thinking a lot, or if they do play with their fingers, it would be very subtle, very like especially in his state of shock. So I don't think they would move as much as you have them right here and stuff. Um, so overall, I would say just less movement in general. The next thing you can work on are, I think, the weight on this hand right here. It doesn't feel like he has any weight, or it doesn't feel like the hand has any weight as he's placing it on that table. It just feels kind of floaty and uh, uh, like it's not being affected by gravity or something. Or and same thing with when he puts his other hand down right here. Now, granted, he is going to do it relatively slowly, but you want to feel like there's the table is going to affect his movement. So like for here, when he puts his shoulder down, you see how his shoulder is raised up here, and then you put it down here, but then it makes contact with the table and it doesn't react to that. And I think that's something that will give you some indication of weight, and you want to be careful that it's not too bold of an action so it doesn't look like it pops. But you definitely want to make sure that if he's leaning his weight on the table right here, then his shoulder will be reacting. And same thing here, if he's putting his hand down on the table and that's what he's using to support himself with, especially when he pushes off right here, just make sure, even though you can't see it, that the shoulder is reacting to that, because I can kind of see it right here, and it doesn't appear though as if it were being scrunched or lifted by the weight or from the contact with the table. So that's something to work on. Next, I would just kind of make sure your arcs are nice. You got kind of a messy one right here with the head and body, so I would just make sure that arc is working, or it could be smoother, and that you might need a transparency to track that stuff. And same thing here. He kind of looks, I like this part where he rises up, but then when he goes down, it's kind of, I guess, I feel like his head should move down and forward a little bit, so it makes a nice arc path of action right here. Otherwise, the last thing I would have to say is just to watch your eyes. Now I know you have eye darts and stuff, but you don't want to make it look like the eye has been locked into place while the head's moving. So for example right here, it kind of looks like, he darts his eye and then it kind of like moves as his head moves. Or actually it looks like it gets locked in place and it like moves independently from his whole head. So, and you have another one too right here. I think it's right here, see? Like right there. And if this is an eye dart, like from all the way in the corner of his eye to more of the center, you have to make sure that that reads clearly. Otherwise it just looks like his eye floats in place right here. He might need to blink or dart a little bit. I like the little eye movements here. So yeah, just watch in the overall pose. He looks kind of dazed right here, so I don't know what your overall intention is. But just make sure that that last pose reads as either despair, like even more despair, or if is it a sigh of relief or is it a sigh of even more despair, like, oh God, I can't believe this is happening. So those are some things to work on, I suppose. So yeah, can't wait to see it as it comes along. So hopefully that helps, and let me know if you have any questions. All right. Okay.